A good English paragraph always starts with a topic sentence. Now, I should say usually the topic sentence is the first sentence, but sometimes it's the second sentence of a paragraph. Now, the topic sentence always tells the reader, okay, what is the main idea of my paragraph? Let's look at some examples of some topic sentences. I love going out for dinner. My dog had a terrible experience last week. And police are an important part of the community. These are some good examples of topic sentences. And everything in my paragraph is going to describe this sentence. Maybe my paragraph, some sentences will describe and give details, and maybe some sentences will give examples about this topic sentence. So everything in the paragraph is describing the topic sentence. Now, be careful with your main idea. Your main idea can't be too general. If it is too general, it's not clear. Well, what are you going to write about? And don't make your topic sentence or main idea, don't make it too specific. If it is too specific and it has many, many details, well, what are you going to write about in your paragraph? Because your topic sentence has so many details. You can't write about this sentence. It's just too many details. And also, do not announce your topic. And what do I mean? Well, don't write, I would like to write about, or I want to write about. No, we don't do this in English. Let's look at some examples of some bad topic sentences. I want to write about when I was in school.
Okay, so what's wrong with this topic sentence? I want to write.
You're an answer.
Exactly, you're announcing, right. Very good.
Problems. The first problem is I want to write about. We don't do this in English. And number two, it's too general. When I was in school. Well, what when I was in school? Your studies? Your hobbies? Your sports? Your friends? What? What do you want to write about? It's too general. The next example. Students always made stupid jokes and made fun of me.
Look at this sentence. Students always make stupid jokes and make fun of me. What's wrong with this one?
Too personal, maybe?
Too personal? Maybe. Repetition of the idea. Right, yes, okay. Any other idea or suggestion?
Who are you, the teacher or another student?
Okay, who are you? Right, yes, okay. Let's see.
This has too much, this is too specific. It has too many details. Because it's going to be very difficult to write a paragraph about this sentence. So, how can we fix this? Well, here's a good example. I had terrible experiences when I was in school. So now in the paragraph, I can give information and details and examples about this sentence. Now, be careful, because my students often make the mistake that in one paragraph, maybe they have more than one main idea. Don't do this in English. One paragraph only has one main idea. If you want to talk about a different thing, well, it must be in a different paragraph. Okay? So one paragraph, one main idea.
This is very important, right? And this connects with what Marianno announced at the very beginning of today's talk. This question of organizing the information into paragraphs, separating the information into paragraphs, right? A good composition, a good essay, for example, cannot possibly have all the information in one long paragraph, right? That is bad style. So we should teach them how to paragraph, right? How to divide the information into paragraphs, right? So one main idea per paragraph, yes? Haven't you ever corrected an essay where you had only one paragraph and everything was said, right?
Yes.
Yes. And how did you feel about it? rather discouraged after having taught and well, this does happen more often than we think, right? Yes? Okay. Well, let's move on.
Now, I'm going to give you an example of a nicely written paragraph. And look at the topic sentence in blue. You'll see that everything in the paragraph is describing the topic sentence.
So look at this sentence. People have the power to make themselves feel better. How does this sentence strike you? People have the power to make themselves feel better.
You want to continue reading to see.
Exactly. Exactly. Very good. This has a kind of hook, right? Here the reader is hooked, right, into going on reading, right? Because he or she wants to see why and what happens next, right? Of course, we don't expect our students to be writers or novelists, let alone philosophers, right? But if they manage to create a certain degree of suspense at the very beginning of each paragraph, well, that would be great, right? Yes? Okay, good. Fine, because after all, who's going to read that? We are, right? Yes? So we expect a certain kind of interest created by the writer. Yes? Good. Fine. Any questions so far? Any doubts? No? Okay, so we move on now to the next section on paragraph writing, number 3. And then we're going to the handout, right? So we go on with paragraph writing.
After the topic sentence, a paragraph always needs supporting sentences. What's a supporting sentence? Well, a supporting sentence adds information about the topic sentence. So, it supports the topic. Well, here's an example of my topic sentence. I spent the best years of my life helping people build houses in Costa Rica. Well, what are some different kinds of supporting sentences? Well, the first one is to define, right? Well, what do you mean? Talk about your topic sentence a little bit more. Explain, what do you mean? Well, I was the happiest I have ever been when I lived in the small country. Now, another type of supporting sentence can explain why. Why was this so happy for you? Well, I felt so good about myself because all I did was help others all day. I helped families get a new place to live and built schools or community centers where people can learn and work together to make a better life. It was so great to help others. You can see that these supporting sentences are explaining my topic sentence. Why were you so happy? And finally, supporting sentences sometimes give examples. Well, here's an example of a supporting sentence giving examples. For example, the Rodriguez family of 6 people had their house destroyed by a hurricane. They had lived in a tent for 4 years. I helped them finally have a proper home again. It was the most amazing gift I have ever given someone. So, after a topic sentence, you need supporting sentences. Supporting sentences can define your topic sentence. What do you mean? Or they can explain why. And finally, they can give examples to support your topic sentence. If you'd like to practice this more.
Cool. So then, what is the main role of supporting sentences in a paragraph? To do what?
To develop
exactly the topic sentence. Very good, Marcela. To explain, right? To clarify, to illustrate, right? Or even to contrast, right? Mm-hmm. But they must serve a purpose, right? After the topic sentence. Good. And last, but not least, concluding sentence. So let's go to the concluding sentence.
The last part of a paragraph is always a concluding sentence. A concluding sentence reminds the reader about the topic of your paragraph. Basically, we describe the main idea one more time, but we use different words. Now, examples. Here is my topic sentence for my paragraph. This is not a concluding sentence. My father taught me the importance of saving money. This is my topic sentence. So in my supporting sentences, I give examples, or I explain, or I define. And then in my concluding sentence, I should say something similar to my topic sentence. So, as you can see, money is very important for my dreams in life. So I am thankful my father showed me how to save. Now, concluding sentences often begin with these phrases. As you can see, comma. In short, comma. On the whole, that's why, okay, that's why. In conclusion, in brief, brief means in short, or in summary.
Okay, so here we have a list of expressions to end a paragraph, right? Can we add any more to this list?
All in all.
All in all, right? Yes.
As far as I'm concerned.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it is more general, let's say. So it may begin a paragraph or it may end it. Well, it depends how you use it, right? Okay. To sum up, good. Yeah, exactly. Right. To summarize, yes. To recap, that's more informal, right? Any other expressions that we can use to end a paragraph? To conclude, right, exactly, good, fine, okay. Well, fine, good.
A concluding sentence is almost the same as the topic sentence. We want to finish our paragraph with a concluding sentence so that we can remind the reader about the topic. If you'd like to practice this more, click on the link under the video.
Good, okay. Well, how did you find this material? Interesting. Well, this was very kindly shared by Ms. Victoris, right? Who shared it with me for today's lecture, right? And, well, now I suppose that we're in a position to begin with the handout, right? Remember that we're moving from sentence structure to paragraph structure and now to composition structure, right? Yes? Okay. So let's begin with the writing workshop proper. Well, we'll begin with fifth year, right? In the case of fifth year, I have chosen from the 4 types, formal letters or emails, and also for and against essays, right? So number 1 and 4. Numbers 1 and 4, right? Okay. Well, so how should we go about writing a formal letter or a formal email? Well, here's a concise guide on how to write a formal letter or email between 140 and 190 words. Well, first we have the date. When you write a formal letter or email, it is crucial to include the date on which you wrote it. The address. Write the recipient's full address, including their postal order box, number, or office suite. Return address. Include your company's full address. This makes it easy for the recipient to send a response, right? Well, in the exam, this information may be skipped, right? So you can tell your students not to include these 3 pieces of information, right? May very well be skipped. Salutation. Okay. In a formal letter or email, the standard salutation is dear. Even if you're writing to your worst enemy, right, then you will begin with dear, right? So, followed by the recipient's title and last name. Begin your letter with dear plus recipient's name and add a comma after a name. Not colon, right? Comma. Colon is Spanish, comma in English, right? Okay. Why comma and not comma? Exactly. If you're in a state of coma, you're in a vegetable state, well, very little will you be able to write, yes, if anything. When you cannot determine the recipient's name, you may address the letter to their title, right? Dear manager, right? Okay. What about the body of a formal letter or email? Well, the body paragraphs are the main text of the letter or email. In these paragraphs, the sender outlines the purpose of the letter. It includes these sections. An introductory paragraph that states the letter's main purpose, and if necessary, it introduces the letter or email writer. One or more middle paragraphs that discuss the subject in greater detail. And the final paragraph that summarizes the key points and, if applicable, indicates the next steps. This could involve suggesting a meeting, requesting a response, or expressing anticipation to solve the matter at hand. The final paragraph is also an appropriate place to offer thanks to the recipient for considering your message or for their time and attention, right? And in the closing, after the body section, close the letter or email with, in a simple, right, but professional way. Polite ways to end the letter include the following sign-offs. Sincerely, respectfully. Now, if the letter is started with Dear Sir or Dear Madam, without a name, then we have to end it yours faithfully. Right? It's a convention that we cannot break. And then obviously the signature. The final component of a formal letter or email is your signature. Include your full name and job title, if relevant, followed by your signature and printed name. Okay, good. Any questions about formal emails or letters, about the theory? No? No questions? Well, now we'll plunge into the reality.
Sorry,
Yes?
sorry, question.
Yes.
Is it okay to start saying, I'm writing, I don't know, to have some information about, is it okay to start, I'm writing?
Why are not?
Yes?
Yes, of course. Right.
That's the common way my students use, that's why.
Yes. Yes, you're on the right track.
Okay.
Good. Yes? Any other questions? No? Over there? No. Yes, yes, please.
Respectfully, can it be used both for formal and semi-formal?
Yes, both for formal and semi-formal letters, right, and emails. Yes, respectfully. Well, this is a letter that was taken from an exam, a real exam, of one of the students at the Institute. That's why it says, here it reads authentic material. Authentic material means that it's a real writing. So, don't get horrified if you see blunders or bloomers, because they're the real thing, right? Yes? Okay.
Doesn't say anywhere here, my teacher is on, for example.
No. Well, in this sample, the rubric reads, write one composition using 140 to 190 words. Choose either option A or option B, and circle the letter corresponding to your choice. Well, what's the rubric? You have seen an advertisement for a summer language course in an English-speaking country. Write a letter to the principal requesting information about the course you would like to take. So I don't know how you prefer to deal with this material, how to handle it. Working in groups, working all together, me reading it aloud, you commenting on it. I don't know, which is the best way for you to deal with it? All together, fine. Right, yes, right. Like the song by the Beatles, all together now, right? Okay, good. Well, hi. I'm Olivia. Remember this is what the student wrote. Hi, I'm Olivia. I hope you're having a nice day. I'm writing to you because I've seen the advertisement for a summer language course, and I'm very interested on learning and improve my English. If it's not a bother, I would like to know more about where are we going and the activities we'll do there. I'm not used to being in a foreign country on my own. Maybe, with this course, I could meet people with similar likes. Among the activities, I want to know if there is going to be anything that could be dangerous, like skydiving. I'm very afraid of the sea too, so I couldn't be on a catamaran for my own safety. Besides those things, I'm willing to be a part of this course and maybe learn more about the culture of the country we'll go, like their food, monuments and recreative places as a museum or theatre, period. I hope to receive an answer from you, Principal. Love, Olivia. This is a fifth-year real composition taken from an exam, right? Yes. So notice that she has been very specific about the word count, 151 words. She has paid close attention to that, right? Yes? Okay.